But thank the Lord. Thank the Lord that you are here. You are here this morning. You're here and encouraging the Lord, encouraging me, encouraging the pastor. You're encouraging one another. We need your strength. We need your strength. We need your gifts. Your gifts not for you. Your gifts for the body. Gifts for the body. I need you here. I need you. I need you. And and that wasn't a harsh truth there. That wasn't a harsh truth. But in our Sunday school lesson, there was a truth that was I won't say it was a harsh truth, but it was the truth. And we're talking about Samuel this morning. Samuel administers justice. And whenever I looked at that, I really had a difficult time connecting this title with this lesson. Samuel administers justice. So when you look at justice, it means something is right and something could be right or wrong. So you have something that you're measuring against. And in this situation, you have the people of God, and you have how the people of God are treating God, how they're doing God. Now they want to be blessed by God and they need God, but they've been doing their own thing. So, Samuel is an unusual, we talked about him Wednesday night. Samuel was an unusual character in the Bible, and this story is told for the encouragement of the people. Now they're not just capturing this as he's living, just capturing this stuff, and putting all the everything that it means around it. This story is being told to encourage people, okay? So they're giving this story, this narrative, and it's talking about how Samuel had this unusual birth. His mother prayed for him, earnestly prayed for him, put her petition before the Lord and prayed for him. And in that prayer, whenever she prayed for Samuel, now her prayer was so earnest and so intentional, and she did exactly what she said she would do with that vow. She did exactly what she said she would do, that she had other children after that. So she was barren, and the Lord had shut up her womb. The Lord had done it. So she was barren, and she couldn't have a child, but she had this sister girl over here who was also married to her husband, and that was legal back in the day. That was legal. Now, everything that's legal is not expedient. Just because you can don't mean it's a good idea. Now, there's some folks out there serving you food at McDonald's. Just because you can give them a piece of your mind. All right. So some things are legal and lawful, but they're not expedient. Not expedient. So he had these two wives, and one was she was just aggravating the other. Just Penina was aggravating Hannah, and Hannah went before the Lord, and the priest Eli looked down there on her, and he passed judgment on her. He thought she was drunk. Yeah, the woman, how long are you going to be drunken with wine? He's not drunk. I was just praying to the Lord. He said, well, that this very thing's going to happen. You will have a child. So she got up, began to sacrifice, to the Lord, went home, had this child. And she told the Lord, if you give me a male child, I'll give him back to you. I'll give him back to you. There are some things that's so dear to us that the Lord gives us. Can we stand to give it back to the Lord? And we know that we don't have to leave our children here at Powerhouse. Please don't leave you. When you go home, please take your kids home with you. I love them. I love them. They're dear. I love these, but don't leave them here at Powerhouse, because I got to go home too. So there he was, left there at the tabernacle to work with the high priest, Eli, to work with him. And here he is being raised up there serving Eli, doing what he's supposed to do. But Eli had a problem. Now, he saw that woman and thought she was drunk, right? But he knew his boys were doing some stuff. He knew those boys were doing some stuff. So those boys, they raised themselves up. They thought they deserved it. Sometimes people are like that. They think, well, I'm in this spot. I can do this. They were bringing the sacrifices in there to the Lord. And before they could burn off the fat and before they could get it where it was done, they would get part of the meat they deserved. Now, this was supposed to go to the Lord, go before the Lord and get to be a certain a doneness or whatever, the blood out of it. But they take it upon themselves. No, I want this and I want this now. That sound like that commercial. You got some money hanging out there and you want it now. Well, trust me. So they wanted it right then. And they said, well, why don't you? No, you're going to give it to me. You're going to go one way or the other. You can do it the easy way or the hard way. If you read those scriptures, that's basically what they said. You can do this one way or the other. And not only that, the women would sometimes come to the place where they could come to worship. And then they take advantage of the women, whatever women. I used to hear some older preachers say they did not want men to mess with the church women. I used to hear some older preachers say that, not the church women, not the church women. Don't mess with the church women. But there he was messing with the church women. And these people, the people out there, they see what's going on. Because, it involved them, right? If you're bringing your sacrifices there, if you're doing whatever, it involves you. So they know what's going on. And Eli asked him, why are you doing this? But Eli wasn't stern enough to stop it. He continued to let them serve. Now, this is part of our history. This is part of our African-American history. So one of the things that the African-Americans did, the slaves did while being trained in Christianity. So whenever we read the Bible is good. The Bible is right. The Bible is right. But whenever they're being raised in Christianity and the Bible was being used to oppress them, you got to do certain things. And even you'll hear it now. Don't worry about getting yours here, where your heart is as we tread. Don't worry about getting yours here as you get yours in heaven, while they're getting theirs here and in heaven. So what the slaves would do was they would really live the word. They didn't have to fight. They didn't have to whatever, but they really lived the word. And whenever they really lived the word, people could see the difference between, okay, the scripture said this is what you're doing. What somebody else is doing something, that's not the word. That's not the word. So you got Samuel, I said all that to say this. You got Samuel growing up in the favor of the Lord and people. You got Samuel growing up doing what he's supposed to do. So guess what? People see what he's doing, and people see what these jokers are doing. They see what they're doing too. So this is not right. So we know Samuel had his call, and before, and missionary Peggy Brown worked this over the other day. And whenever he got his call from the Lord, and he said, "Yes, here am I," he didn't even say, "Yes, Lord." He didn't know the Lord at the time he was called, but he was doing everything he was supposed to do by the way of Eli. He didn't know the Lord. So then the Lord tells him, the Lord gives him a hard thing. He said, "You know what? I'm going to cut off Eli's house. There won't be an old man in his house. He's going to kill all of them." And the Lord had already prophesied to him and told him he was going to do something. And see, sometimes when the Lord says he's going to do something to us, like going to correct us, and we don't see that immediately. See, I think God has shown his grace and mercy to us a long time. And I think because God has shown his grace and mercy to us a long time, that sometimes we don't think he's going to do what he's capable of doing. We don't think that he said, okay, if you obey me, I'll bless you. If you disobey me, I'll curse you. We don't, because we got away with it. Nothing happened. I did that. Ain't nothing happened. I can do that again. I can do that again. You wait till they turn their head. I can do that again. Well, that's how things were happening. That's how things were happening. Just going with whatever way. So you have here Samuel, who's living right for God, and is called, and Eli has to be prophesied to. And so the Lord tells Eli, which I told you before, and I'm telling you again, but I'm going to cut every male off from your house. You won't be an old male in the house. So now this lesson, when you look at this lesson, it kind of skips around. I'm just going to tell you the whole story in just a few minutes. So you got this where they're out here in battle. They're out here fighting. Now, they're not doing what the Lord told them to do, because, we ended in Judges. Every man's doing what's right in his own eyes. We ended in Judges. And when you got a bunch of judges, if you find one that kind of works favorable, that's when you go to. I had heard one person say, one guy say, so you can imagine what kind of trouble he was in. I heard one guy said, if you ever have to come before that judge, she's going to try to get all the child support. She's going to try to get your whole check. She's going to try to get as much as she can get. So you got, the Lord tells Samuel, going to cut it off. Elijah, they out there in battle. Eli. So they're out there in battle. And then the Ark of the Covenant is used to go in battle, because these people decide, how we think God is a genie. I'm trying to get it's too many lessons in this. They should have given me like 2 scriptures. It's too many lessons in here. Sometimes we are like, God is a genie in a bottle. Do this, do that, do that. We become the God. Do this. It's not even for our good. Do this, do this, do this. So they basically did that. They take the Ark of the Covenant out there to fight the Philistines. Take the Ark of the Covenant. Now, it's just a representation of God's presence there with them. It's not God. It's not God. So they take it out there, and the thing is taken from them. It's just taken from them. It's taken from them. But, then the people who have taken it from the Philistines, then it starts showing up, and they're getting cursed because they have the Ark of the Covenant there, and their gods are being cursed, and then they send it back. They're like, we got to send it back somewhere. So now these people want to win fight. They want to win the fight against the Philistine. So Samuel, this is where the justice come in. Samuel said, you got to do the right thing. No more of this genie in the bottle. No more of this just doing things the way you want to do things. You want that meat, you eat that. You no more of that. You got to do things right. That's where the justice came in. I struggled with this. I struggled with this. You have got to be right by God to get God's blessings. Be right by God. You have got to be right by God to get God's blessings. Everything that comes to you, not everything that comes to you is a blessing to you. The enemy can give you some things and it look just like the blessings of the Lord, and it is not. The enemy can come to you while we're praying. I wished I had a man. Then you get some Scooter out there, and I hope nobody named Scooter in here. You hope you don't know a Scooter. You get Scooter and wish you never seen Scooter. The devil heard you. Matter of fact, he saw you when you were out there on the website looking for whatever these sites are. I can't think of them right now. No, whatever they are. He saw you looking for it, and he knows your type. And he dressed up that one day. Then the next, you get involved with him, and you find out he don't even like to take a bath. He was all dressed up. The enemy, not everything that we receive is a blessing. And sometimes we try to make it a blessing. Sometimes we absolutely try to make it a blessing. I got my car. I don't make but $300 a week. And my car note is $600 a month. And they didn't do a credit check because they plan on selling that car again. Now, I didn't mean. And then we blame it on the Lord. We blame it on the Lord. Who we going to blame it on when they come and tow it? Who we going to blame it on then? Then we blame it on the devil. The devil took my car. The devil ain't driving your car. The devil didn't take my Pinto. The devil didn't care to drive my Pinto. The devil going to drive, so he probably ain't driving a Cadillac or something. Not my Pinto. All right. We have got to do what the Lord tells us to do to receive his blessings. And the ultimate blessing is the saving of our souls. The ultimate blessing. I know we'd like to have our right minds. Oh, it'd be good, nice to have our right minds. We like to have good health. We like to have great health. We like to have nice clothes. We like to drive fancy. We like to have stuff. We like for our persons to be comfortable. We like this. And we like to have hope in the seasons to come. Whenever I retire, I'm going to be sitting nice. We like to have hope of things to come. My kids going to be set up. We're going to have an empire. We like to have hope in these things. But what we really need to be concerned about is that thing that never dies. We need to be concerned about our souls. Our souls. So, as I administer justice this morning, my encouragement is just simply, let's do what God tells us to do. Let's do what God tells us to do. Let's not come up with any excuses. I try to read this real quickly so you understand what it is that was happening. And Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel, saying, if you do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, put them away, the strange gods of Ashereth, from among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only, and he would deliver you out of the hands of the Philistines. And if you would just let me tell you a little bit about those gods that they need to put away. Israel was a people of the land. They were people connected to the land. They were, and so if there was a famine, it really infected them. So what they would do, it seemed like it worked for everybody else. And there's some things in life, it looked like it's working for everybody else. But I'm telling you, it's not going to work for you if God doesn't have that for you. So these gods that they are now out there worshiping, it's like the fertility god, because they want a lot of stuff. Fertility god. And then it seemed like it's a good idea to worship the God of the rain and the dew. That seemed practical. And then if it seems like it's working too, but God said, no, you've got to put your trust in me. And think about this, especially in the house of the priest. You've got to put your trust in me. You've got to put your trust in me because you don't even have a portion. Land wasn't even assigned to you. You don't even have a lot. I am your portion. Then the children of Israel did put away Balaam and Asherah and served the Lord only. And Samuel said, gather all Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray for you unto the Lord. And they gathered together in Mizpah and drew water and poured it out before the Lord and fasted on that day and said there, we have sinned against the Lord. And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Mizpah. And when the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together in Mizpah, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. And the children of Israel said to Samuel, cease not to cry unto the Lord for our God for us, that he will save us out of the land of the Philistine. And Samuel took a suckling lamb and offered it for a burnt offering, holy unto the Lord. And Samuel cried unto the Lord for Israel, and the Lord heard him. And as Samuel, now this is after they got themselves together. And as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to the battle against Israel. But the Lord thundereth with a great thunder on that day upon the Philistines. And discomfited them, and they were smitten before Israel. And the men of Israel went out to Mizpah and pursued the Philistines and smote them until they came unto Berachar. And Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life. And he went from year to year in the circuit of Bethel and Gilgad and Mizpah and judged Israel in all those places. And his return was to Ramah, for there was his house, and there he judged Israel, and there he built an altar unto the Lord. There he judged Israel. There he kept it the same. He kept it the same. You've got to do what God tells you to do. Bless you on this morning.